So we have about 10,000 objects in the museum's collection. We started collecting a few years before the museum actually opened to the public, and almost 100% of our objects are donated by members of the public who want to see their family's history preserved. But our collection is strongest in World War I and World War II Army history. We have a variety of uniforms from both men and women who've served in all of the different branches of the armed forces, including nurses, ambulance drivers. We also collect their medals. Probably one of the most special things we have in our collection is the Medal of Honor awarded to Private Foster Sayers. He was awarded the medal in 1944 for gallantry in France. Some of the vehicles that you'll see in the museum have been provided to us by U.S. Army TACOM, which is the Army's materiel branch responsible for preserving historic military vehicles. We have some very rare vehicles in our collection, including a Studebaker ambulance that was used during World War I, and a GMC ambulance that was also used during World War I, which provides an interesting contrast to the advent of the automobile. The tank is a pretty special object. It's a model 1917 American tank. The tank is very rare. There's only a handful left in the world. As you see, it has a very intriguing paint scheme, which is probably what it looked like originally. Camouflage during World War I was not camouflage as we think of it today, and was more used just to obscure the shape of an object rather than to actually hide it. Our tank did not see service in World War I and spent most of its life at Frankfurt Arsenal in Philadelphia, where it was a staple of their tour program. It was purchased by a gentleman at the Arsenal in 1933. During World War II, some friends of his hid the tank so that it would be safe from scrap drives. And he continued to drive it in parades for a few more years until there was an incident with a parked car. And he graciously donated the tank to the museum, and it's been a centerpiece here since we opened in 1969. We have personal remembrances from women who served in a number of different conflicts as both nurses and other training personnel during World War II and Vietnam who've been gracious enough to talk about their experiences as well. We have a lot of archival material, personal diaries, letters. One of the ones that I think is most special to me is a diary that belonged to a soldier who served during World War I. He was a miner from Pennsylvania, and he was killed the day before the armistice was signed. A German soldier picked a diary up off of him, and he carried it through 1919, making his own entries in German in the diary. When his military service ended, he spent time to look up the family of the gentleman who was killed and wrote to his mother and sent the diary home to her. We have uniforms and photographs in the modern day to the experiences of folks serving throughout various times in history. We have a letter from a gentleman named Francis Bednar who served in the U.S. Navy during World War II. He sailed on the USS Ajax to Bikini Atoll, where he witnessed the Operation Crossroads atomic test. He recognized how historic that was, and he wrote a letter to his baby daughter, which is a very moving and personal letter. He had not met his daughter yet. And he said, "You need to keep this forever. Daddy saw something historic, and I want you to remember it."